saw them drugged, dirty, and hopeless, a west coast extension of the Bowery. He felt partly responsible. He decided to use his influential position by writing and singing songs about something more than psychedelics and sex. He was also feeling an increasing interest in Indian spirituality due, he felt, to karma from his previous lives. George, I feel at home with Krishna. I think that's something that has been there from a previous birth. So it was like the door was opening to me at that time, but it was like a jigsaw puzzle, and I needed all these little pieces to make a complete picture. And that is what has been happening by the devotees and Swami Bhaktivedanta coming along, or some devotee giving me a book, or my hearing that album. It's all been slowly fitting together. And these are some of the reasons why I responded to Shama Sundara and Guru Das when they first came to London. Let's face it, if I'm going to have to stand up and be counted, then I will be with these guys rather than with those over there. It's like that I will be with the devotees rather than with the straight people who are the so called saints. George offered to help the devotees get a building in London, and he and Shyamasundara spoke of making a Hare Krishna record. But Shyam never pressed him. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtapraishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 9, Appearance of the Demon Vritrasura, and text 38. I'll go through the Sanskrit myself and will request your cooperation in the word meanings. स एव हि पुनः सर्व वस्तुनि वस्तु स्वरूप सर्वेश्वरो सकल जगत कारण कारण भूत सर्व प्रत्यग आत्मावाद सर्वगुणा सर्वगुणाभासोपलक्षित एक एव पर्यवेशिषत स he the supreme personality of Godhead. Eva, indeed, he, certainly, Puna, again, Sarva Vastuni, in everything material and spiritual. Vastu Swarupa, the substance. Sarva Ishvara, the controller of everything. Sakala Jagata, of the whole universe. Karana, of the causes. Karana Bhuta, existing as the cause. Sarva Pratyak Atmavat, because of being the super soul of every living being, or being present in everything, even the atom. Sarvaguna. Of all the effects of the material modes of nature, such as intelligence and the senses. Abhasha. By the manifestations. Upalakshita. Perceived. Eka. Alone. Eva. Indeed. Paryavashishita. Left remaining. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki. With deliberation, one will see that the Supreme Soul, although manifested in different ways, is actually the basic principle of everything. The total material energy is the cause of the material manifestation, but the material energy is caused by Him. Therefore, He is the cause of all causes, the manifester of intelligence and the senses. He is perceived as the super soul of everything. Without him, everything would be dead. You, as that super soul, the supreme controller, are the only one remaining. Purport. The word Sarva Vastuni Sarva Vastu Swarupa indicate that the Supreme Lord is the active principle of everything. As described in the Brahma Samhita 535, Eko pasyo eko paso rachayitam jagadanda kotim yachaktirasti jagadanda chayayadanta andantarastha paramanushayantarastam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who enters the existence of every universe and every atom by one of his plenary portions, and thus manifests his infinite energy throughout the material creation. By his one plenary portion as Paramatma Antaryami, the Lord is all pervading throughout the unlimited universes. He is the Pratyak or Antaryami of all living entities. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 13.3, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetresu bharata. O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. Because the Lord is the super soul, He is the active principle of every living entity and even the atom. Andantarastha paramanu shayantarastam. He is the actual reality. According to various stages of intelligence, one realizes the presence of the Supreme in everything through the manifestations of his energy. The entire world is permeated by the three gunas, and one can understand his presence according to one's modes of material nature. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपा बुद्धिर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. These few verses throughout Srimad Bhagavatam describe the glories of Lord Shri Krishna, the glories of his pure devotees, and the glories of loving devotional service. These few verses we can see, like in Vedic literature, it is mentioned Kartum akartum anyatha kartum samartha iti Krishna. Uh, Something which can be easily done, something which can be done, something which cannot be done. And anyatha kartum is in something which can be done but be made to be undone or not able to be done. And something which is impossible can be made easily possible. Samartha, so capacity, Krishna, only Krishna has this capacity to do something which is easily done, to do something which cannot be done. Also, something which is easily done, Krishna can not let it happen, not let it be done. And something which is very difficult to do, Krishna can easily make it happen, allow it to take place, allow it to happen. So you may come a bit forward, please, if it suits you. I've stopped biting actually. Yeah. So, so we see like kartum akartum anyatha kartum samartha iti Krishna. Uh, The glories of Krishna are unlimited, and we cannot glorify Krishna to his full extent because Krishna himself doesn't know his full glories. That doesn't mean that we try not to glorify or we don't make an effort or try. So, something which is easily done, Krishna can make it very difficult. Something which is very difficult to do, Krishna can do it easy, and vice versa. Like last few days, class verses and all, or I find it very fascinating reading Srimad Bhagavatam and before hearing from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. It almost always so ties up with what we are studying in Srimad Bhagavatam. And we find this tying up fascinately with Damodar Ashtakam, the Kartik month. Mother Yashoda, she was perspiring, trying so hard to bind Krishna with rope. And she was like wondering, wondering that what is going on. Last night, I put him to rest. I made him put him to rest, and the waistband I had tied on him. And this morning, I'm using a bigger waistband to tie on him, but he's not getting tied. Or I'm using a bigger rope. All the ropes of Vrindavan brought together, tied together, but he's not getting tied up. That's Krishna. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum samarthayate. He wasn't willing, he wasn't allowing himself to be tied up. But Mother Yashoda, she was insistent. She wanted to tie him up. And not because, like, out of her any own grudge or out of her own self dependence, self attitude sort of thing. She wanted to tie up for Krishna's sake, say, or for Krishna's betterment. Because Krishna is growing up, and if he doesn't become disciplined, if he's not disciplined, his future will be a bit tough for him. He has right now started thieving, stealing, and all, and if he's not disciplined, it will be a bit difficult for him. So, Yashoda mother, with Krishna's interest only, Krishna's highest interest. So she was perspiring so hard. So all contradictions easily reside in Krishna. They happily, not just easily, they happily reside in Krishna. And we read through the prayers of Damodar Ashtakam and we see full of contradictions, especially this Ukhal Bandhan Leela, Dam Bandhan Leela, Damodar Leela. It is so much contradiction. Like Krishna, we understand all pervasive personality, all pervasive, but yet he becomes bound up. Someone who is all pervasive, becomes bound up. And how? Only out of love. So it is Mother Yashoda's desperation, desperate effort, full efforts, and her love, care, concern for Krishna. Until and unless that love for Krishna is not awakened, Krishna's energy will never let reveal Krishna unto us. Until and unless that love for Krishna is not awakened. And this is again one of the beauty of Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, it is so difficult, as such, it can be so difficult to understand the Vedic literatures. So vast and so spread out. eh? But what did Prabhupada do? From the very beginning, whosoever comes, Prabhupada told us, Sambandh Abhiday Prayojan. In simple sense, he helped us understand who we are, who is Krishna, what is our relationship with Krishna. It's a loving relationship. And when love is there, then everything will come about. So, otherwise, Krishna's energies will never ever uh, uh, let reveal Krishna or bring Krishna to the front. No, until and unless love is there. And this is why it is said that spiritual science or other practice of Krishna consciousness begins where material science stops or where material science finds its limit, where material science, material calculation, material imagination, anything to do with matter, when it finds its saturation, when it finds its limit, then Krishna says, okay, are you done or you still want to go on further with your own endeavor, independent of me, not involving, engaging me? Okay, then continue. But when you find your limit, your saturation, then Krishna will reveal his magic or Krishna can reveal his potency. So this is what throughout these verses as well, um, is throughout the potency of Krishna, the glory of Krishna being mentioned. And on this contradiction, well, Damodar Ashtakam is full of contradiction again. Someone who is all pervasive, getting bound up. Mm. We understand Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha, but he's crying. Krishna is never fearful, but he's getting fearful. Yashoda Bhiyo Lukhat Ladhava Manam. From the fear of Mother Yashoda, he's crying Rudantam Muhur Netra Yugmam Rijantam. Krishna never cries, but here he is crying. So everything easily, happily resides in Krishna. Uh, Krishna is never greedy. He teaches in Bhagavad Gita, do not be greedy. But he's he's greedy here. But that's a different realm altogether. That's a different realm altogether. Never lusty, but here he's lusty. You see, Vaikuntapati, right? He's the Lord of the universe, the Lord of all the Vaikuntha planets and all. But here he's becoming greedy. He's becoming lusty for butter, for his mother's association, for that thing. Message is clear, the message is simple. It is only pure love that can bind Krishna. And from the point of transcendence, love is only pure from the point of transcendence. Love by default means pure, but it is because we live in this material world within the modes of material nature. So, pure love, conditional love, unconditional love, because we live in this world of duality. That is why then we need some more adjectives or things. But in the realm of pure transcendence, love is love only, which is and completely pure. So it is only out of pure love Krishna could be bound up. Otherwise, it is inconceivable to understand Krishna. Like this fascinating verse from Brahma Samhita in the purport, it says, right? Who enters, worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who enters the existence of every universe and every atom by one of his plenary portions, and thus manifests his infinite energy throughout the material creation. So, he's lighter than the lightest, and bigger than the biggest, or heavier than the heaviest, and simultaneously. It's not like that he has to leave his position once. Oh, wait, if you want me to become heavier than the heaviest, then I have to give up this being lighter than the lightest. No, doesn't work with Krishna, no. So, this is why if I try to apply any of my material intelligence, material calculation, material egoistic identity, Krishna will be a distant personality for me. Krishna will be a distant personality. This is why he is far beyond, he is easily accessible to devotees. Easily accessible to devotees because devotees approach Krishna out of love. And love means what? Humility. In love, without humility, can there be love? So, love means humility. Love means desperation. Love means crying out for Krishna. And this is what, like Mother Yashoda, she was very humble in her attempt, she was very desperate, and she was crying out, and simultaneously she was praying as well. Often it might happen that I might be striving very hard, but I may go hard on a mechanical, in a mechanical sense. And then, like, imagine like Krishna may come, okay, what are you doing? Oh, no, no, I'm chanting, I'm trying too hard. And so I may go in a very mechanical sense. Uh, that sort of not. So Mother Yashoda was striving very, very hard, but she never forgot as such Krishna and all. And she prayed to Krishna. She prayed to Narayan. And then Adi Narayan appeared. Adi Narayan allowed himself to be bound up. And fascinating, the power of prayers, the power of obeisances. Namami Ishwaram Satchit Ananda Rupam. So in this prayer, uh, written by Satyavrata Muni, as we understand, Srila Sanatan Goswami Acharyas have given their commentary on Damodar Ashtakam. So the mood, the approach, how to approach Krishna or see. So first of all with Namami, or bowing down, offering my prayers or offering my obeisances. So, and unto whom? Namami Satchit Ishwaram Ananda Rupam. Namami Ishwaram Satchit Ananda Rupam. So Namami, offering obeisances to whom? Ishwara, controller, supreme controller. So not to any other person as such, no. Uh, so offering to Krishna, and who is that one who is Satchidananda Rupam, one who has got a spiritual form. Krishna's form is toe to head. He's all spiritual from toe to head. So Krishna's blood is also completely spiritual. Everything about Krishna is completely spiritual. Well, if we would like to understand about absolute truth, about the personality of Godhead, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, uh, fascinating Brahma Samhita. The shlokas in Brahma Samhita, Brahma Samhita is what? Lord Brahma's experience, his realizations. Likewise, purports in Srila Prabhupada's like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, these are Prabhupada's experiences, realizations. The stuti which Kunti Maharani, Prahlad Maharaj speaks and all, and they are their experience and realizations. And this is the prayers of Vaishnava Acharyas. Kabe hobe bolo sei din amar. So when will that day come when I could actually somewhat tap in to these realizations, these experiences? And in order to tap in, so in order to tap into Damodar Ashtakam, we are being advised that first understand how to offer our obeisances. first that thing. So it begins with that. And yes, offering physically obeisances as well, and also heartfelt obeisances. And unto whom? To Lord Shri Krishna, who is Satchid Ananda Rupam. That. And then furthermore, then we can go into kind of the pastimes, and Krishna will then furthermore reveal in himself more and more. So it is, Krishna consciousness is about building that attitude, building that attitude. And again, it is a very kind of, the whole message is for oneself only. It is not to preach to others or to tell others. The preaching is for oneself. Instructions, preaching, everything is for oneself to imbibe actually. So it is not to see that, oh, my mom, she's not doing good. No, she doesn't even chant, or my mom chants, but then she's still, or my sister or brother or my partner. This is something for oneself personal to realize. Shishikorantai Mayapur Sashiki Jai. So it is, again, it is our, say, intelligence has to be applied, and it is our intelligence which will help us come into the practice of Krishna consciousness. By intelligence meaning discrimination, understanding. This is why understanding, okay, there's rules and regulations to follow, the regulative principles to follow, and there's something to do, chanting the holy names of Lord Shri Krishna, and overall full morning program, and engaging in devotional service. So applying some material intelligence, some intelligence helps one to come into, kind of creates a platform to come into the practice of Krishna consciousness. But ultimately, if I keep on continuing with that material intelligence, it will be a biggest, very big stumbling block in the attainment of fulfillment of this human form of life. So ultimately, actually, faith is required from the very beginning, but that faith looks very subtle and the intelligence looks very overpowering. And for me to continuously advance in the practice of Krishna consciousness, faith has to become strong. Faith has to become strong and strong and strong, and furthermore. And this material intelligence, as soon as it is given up, will be a big blessing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, again in his Vaishnava songs, we know he says, right, that Maya re Vaibhav, right, this opulence, material opulence, material intelligence, material qualifications, all these are bhajane badha. These are obstacles in the practice of devotional service. But how do we give that up? The easiest, simplest, the best, the only way is when we find our attraction in Krishna. Then only. And this is why Krishna's pastime, especially this Kartik month, the Damodar Ashtakam, and throughout, when we find our attraction in the pastimes of Krishna, we'll find our resolve, complete resolve in Krishna. As it says in the translation, without him, everything would be dead. You, as that super soul, the supreme controller, are the only one remaining. So, finding my complete resolve in Krishna, then, so the faith has to be further and further and further increased. Otherwise, see, this material intelligence, everything. Conditional life means what? It's a life of distraction. Conditioned life means a life of diversions. So many diversions. Conditioned life means a life of roadworks. Every now and then, you see, oh, roadworks, and it's closed from this time to this time, this date to this date. Roadworks happening, roadworks happening. So conditioned life means a life of full diversion. And this is why Sangha, Asatsa Sangha, Asat Sangha, material association will keep us in diversion only. Will keep us in diversion only. And uh, devotees intervene in life, and then they will tell what? Take a U-turn. Wherever you are heading, take a U-turn. You've gone a bit on a wrong route. So that's the first thing devotees would do. Like, okay, fine, you might be excelling in job, you might be excelling in family, society. Take a U-turn, please. So devotees help us come through out of that diversion, and then they never let us go in distraction. This is the power of association. If we are associating with saintly people, then we'll find our not only just resolve in Krishna, we'll find our attraction in Krishna. We'll want to fall in love with Krishna. We'll want to serve Krishna. We'll want to be becoming humble. Otherwise, conditioned life again is a life of diversions only. Every now and then there will be something coming up and divert me. And irony is, um, in a state of ignorance, I even don't know that how much diverted am I. Uh, Someone in lack of knowledge who is in diversion would think and say that no, I'm not in diversion. I'm paying my taxes properly. I'm raising family. Everything I'm doing fine and all. There's no diversion. But someone who is a bit awake would realize that how much diversion am I in. This is why, like, it is very, very tremendously difficult to understand Krishna. Tremendously difficult. Again, Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji says, Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktam. So, applying again calculations, logic, and all, no, not possible. So, further on in Bhagavatam, we understand 14th chapter. So, 13th chapter is Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Lord Brahma gets illusion, and then next chapter he glorifies, he sings Stuti. So he says like that those who think that they know you, those who consider that they know you, let them think like that, let them say like that. Okay. Uh, but I can say with hand in my heart, uh, with full conviction, uh, that Krishna, I do not know you. I have not been bestowed by your mercy. I do not know you. So kindly help me understand you, kindly help me reveal yourself to you. This is all the practice of Krishna consciousness to find our utter helplessness, to understand my utter helpless situation, utter helpless state, and simultaneously pray to Krishna for intervention and help. Otherwise, these translations philosophically intelligence applying and all, wow, so fascinating. That Yeah, the potency of Krishna is the actually the basic principle. Yes, and that is understood, yeah, everything rests on Krishna, everything is sheltered on Krishna, everything is maintained, taken care of by Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And to make this kind of, say, information or knowledge, next is how it becomes my realization, and how it becomes my continuous realization. Not that, yeah, last Kartik I realized, or last month I had such a strong realization, great and all, but thing is continuous, constant, continuous realization, and that absorption in devotional service. Okay, on this note, maybe take a pause if there are any questions, comments, or
How can we build faith, Prabhu?
Ado Sat Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. In association, how does one become a drunkard? When a person starts a bit of drinking, he says, no, no, I'm not addicted. This is just for light entertainment. And then hanging around with persons who are into drinking, say, one doesn't realize that, okay, I've become actually addicted. It is observed, seen, one doesn't realize that I've become addicted. So that's material world again. Whatever in material world, material consciousness we associate with binds us, binds us. Whatever I think I own owns me. Whatever thing I think I control controls me. Whatever I think I am enjoying, actually I'm getting enjoyed. My life air, my energy is sucked out by association, by associating. And likewise, how do we build up that faith? That tiny bit of faith is there, but by associating with saintly people, saints, sadhus, that faith will become more strengthened further on. That is the way faith in any sense is being built up, be it in, say, academic science, academic world, or even in spiritual practice, spiritual science. Without association, no faith won't be built up. So Mahaprabhu says, so beautiful Mahaprabhu says that in terms of building attitude, asata sangas chadi a Vaishnava achar. What is the principle, the quality of a Vaishnava? That he has given up asata sang, material association. Material means temporary, which is binding again, which is diverting, which is splitting me. So asata sanga chadi a Vaishnava achar. Uh, Stri sanga ek sadhu. Krishna abhakta ar. Stri sangi ek sadhu. Krishna abhakta ar. So one who is um, very much after sense gratification. So stri sangi, one who is after woman, wealth and wine. One who is after sense enjoyment. Uh, Maybe if womanizer is the word, say. And Krishna Bhakta, one who is not a devotee, one who is not a devotee, one who is ignorance, or one who carries faulty understanding towards Krishna, aprad janak understanding towards Krishna. So giving up that association. And I think the substance is when we take on to inspiring association. When we take on to inspiring association, we'll find resolve, we'll find inspiration, we'll find motivation. We'll know that I'm in diversion, we'll know that I am in distraction, and there will be hope, encouragement to come out of that distraction. There will be progress, and then faith can be more consolidated, would become consolidated. And overall, the practice of Krishna consciousness, chanting japa, reading, hearing, engaging in services. But from time to time, the motivation level would be checked from time to time. And this is why inspiring association is the key, if that somewhat answers your question.
Hare Krishna, thank you for a nice class. It's interesting in the translation of the text, it says that with deliberation one can see. So actually when our deliberation is empowered with understanding of scripture and hearing from spiritual master and saintly people, then we can start perceive the super soul, because like before we come to Krishna consciousness, there is so many things that are going on in life, and it's just like a karmic situation, action and reaction. But when our faith is awakened and when Krishna becomes present in our life, then it's no more just a karma. It's described that Krishna takes karma in his hands, and then he uses that karma to bring us closer to him. So then whatever happens in our life is kind of gains another meaning, and with that vision and deliberation, we can start to see Krishna's hand and the super soul's hand in our daily life, in our daily activities, and as Kandamakana Swami says, in the beginning we start to see the hand of Krishna, and later on, we see, other aspects in our perfection. We see Krishna's smiling face. So we're going to say a couple words about kind of seeing with the spiritual vision of what's happening in our life.
Maybe I can try this. A question on what do you say, Ishan Prabhu? On whose side is Krishna not? On whose side is Krishna not? In the battlefield, was he kind of not on the side of the Kauravas as well on the side of Duryodhan? On whose side is Krishna not? Krishna is on everyone's side. Well, he's bound up. He's bound up by his energies, his nature, and I am bound up by my conditioned nature. That's the irony. And even more irony is that I don't feel this as an irony, that I am bound up by my conditioned nature, even after being given such wonderful association. That's the epitome of irony. So, on whose side is Krishna not? Krishna is on everyone's side. Everyone's. He's holding atom and everything and everyone. But question is, am I on Krishna's side? That is the question. That is the challenge. That is the thing. This is what Arjuna realized this. That wow, Krishna, you are on everyone's side. Arjuna had that tiny bit of faith. Krishna, you are on everyone's side. So kindly instruct me for my eternal welfare. And Arjuna realized through the discourse, through the discourse, Arjuna then realized now is the time to be on Krishna's side. Now is the time to be on Krishna's side. Likewise, throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, through the practice of Krishna consciousness, one should it's like my understanding of whatever is by the blessings of devotees, and I'm very much on the theoretical platform. So, the practice of Krishna consciousness enables us to understand that Krishna has been on my side since eternity. Since eternity. Krishna is beyond duality. Krishna does not see as good or bad, say. Krishna does not see as good desire or bad desire. So, uh, since eternity, Krishna has always been kind of on my side, as in sheltering me, looking after me. Now is an opportunity for me to be on Krishna's side. And when I try to develop this attitude, this understanding, this vision, and take association, value my association, love my association, then Krishna will understand. Then Krishna can see, okay, yes, he's understanding me now. He's understanding my devotees now. And then Krishna will reveal himself furthermore, awaken himself, reveal himself furthermore, give us more and more vision to go more and more deep, to go more and more deep in attaining Krishna. Janayati asu vairagyam jnanam chayad ahetukam. He will give us more and more knowledge and more detachment from matter. Bhakti, we understand bhakti as like bhakti is independent, but it is jnana and vairagya which are dependent on bhakti. It's not like bhakti is dependent on jnana and vairagya, or in order to do loving devotional service, you have to have some jnana and vairagya sort of. No. So when I perform loving devotional service, then that knowledge and detachment from matter will come about. And then yeah, Krishna will reveal himself. Krishna will reveal himself. It is how much I value the association, how much I value the association of devotees, then Krishna will open himself furthermore. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam satava bhajami ham. So how much I want to know Krishna, I want to understand Krishna, and still a bit on mental platform, intellectual platform, or philosophizing Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, or uh, this trying to intellectually present Srimad Bhagavatam. No, that is not the parampara. That is not at all the parampara to intellectually understand Krishna consciousness practice or present Krishna consciousness. So thing is, Krishna is on everyone's side. On whose side is Krishna not? But again, I need to check: am I on Krishna's side? And if I try, if I pray, if I work to be on Krishna's side, respect, honor the association of devotees, and then Krishna will further reveal, and then furthermore I can pray and on those lines. I'm not sure if it somewhat answers your point, Prabhu. Okay, on this note, thank you very much for your kind attention and encouragement. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी.
His Grace Bhakta Ashish Prabhu ki.